Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Now it's been a minute since the first person asked, am I going to talk about WAP? Cardi B featuring Megan Thee Stallion. A number of people have put in this request and I wasn't sure I even wanted to deal with this. I've talked about similar things before. I hadn't even seen the video, just still shots of it. I've heard a lot of talk about it, how disgusting it was. I did hear a reply from Sukihana where she was talking about this. She's trying to stick her voice into this because her voice was actually already in it, just not in this particular video, but her stuff is equally disgusting. Now, let me tell you something. It is what it is, family. The reason why videos like this just blow off the charts right now, it's got 105 million views. Okay, next week, who knows, it'll probably blow through the ceiling or go even higher than that. It'll possibly double, who knows. But what that tells us is that this is what people like to hear. Now, I saw that someone said that they are planning on making a kids bop version of this. So now this can tell you, this shows you where we are. This is what this generation is all about. Now, spare me all of the not all thing because I know that. But let me tell you something. It's not enough of our young people who look the other way and decide not to follow in these footsteps. It's a very small remnant who will not stoop this low. It's not only the young people looking at this and listening to this and partying and dancing to it and learning the lyrics. You have the older generations as well. The mothers who still haven't realized that they're too old for this mess. The community, the so-called black community, is off the chain. We've said that many times. Our women have gotten to the point where anything goes. Now, of course, I know this isn't all. I'm talking about those that do these things. You and I both know that it's enough to where I can say our women. Now, when you listen to these lyrics, I don't like listening to stuff like that, even to bring commentary about it. But I'm mature enough to handle this stuff and deal with this. I just don't like to listen to it because of the foulness of it. But in order for me to come against these things and to say something to those who have an ear to hear and those who will hear, I've got to listen to it to see what the heck is out here. I see enough people talking about it, but I wanted to hear for myself. I'll put it to you this way. I only got halfway through. I can imagine what the rest of it is about. I only got halfway through. I will be honest with you and say that much. The same with the Sukihana chick. You can't even finish this mess. But guess what? There are so many people alive in the world today who will say, let them be. Mind your own business. Live and let live. But then the minute something happens to your daughter because she's become one of these trained whores that they're promoting in these videos. Sukihana, I mean, she literally said that that's what she does. She trains them. She's the Model T for them. And so many of our people are okay with this. And I say okay because we won't open our mouths to say one cotton picking word. You have mothers and grandmothers who knows that their daughters are listening to this crap, feeding it to their grandchildren. They won't say a word. And guess what they say? Well, guess what their excuse is? Just to keep the peace. They're going to mind their own business. See, back in the day, Big Mama didn't mind her business. The problem today, everybody's afraid of the young people. They don't want to say anything. But the minute they get some disease oozing out of their... Let me slow it down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. The minute they get a disease, then all of a sudden everybody wants prayer. Everyone wants some assistance. They want someone to supplicate for them. Because their child done picked up something out here in these streets. See, our minds as a people is messed up. We sit back and we talk about what these other nations are doing. I don't even want to hear it. We already know it. I don't want to hear what they're doing if we're not going to fix us. Young women can't figure out why they're having all of these babies, but no one is putting a ring on their fingers. Now, notice one thing I heard this chick say in the video. She talks about with all of this filth that she does, she has a man. You see, but the difference is this, of course. If you have millions of dollars running through your bank account, it's almost a guarantee somebody's going to put a ring on your finger. Now, I don't know anything about their husbands, what their status is, and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter. My focus is on the fact that young women who want to follow suit after these women, after these debaucherous women, after they go around doing what these women do in the videos, talking like they talk, walking like they walk, acting like they act, till they have their bodies all used up. Then they're out here fishing around for a man to marry them. Oh, they will play with you. There are plenty of men who will play with you, roll around in the hay with you, knock you up, get you pregnant. But if you don't have digits behind your bank account, you can forget it. That's the sad reality. It is what it is. People don't like the truth. They don't like the truth. The truth is a hard pill to swallow, but the truth will always be, whether we like it or not. The truth will always be. I feel so sad for our young people today, our young men and our young women, because they really do believe and think that this is the way. They think this is the way. That they're going to rise to the top and remain there. Oh, fame might get you there. But remember, when Sukihana came out with that video, I believe it was last year or the year before, where she was crying and weeping and moaning and groaning, saying that she signed this contract and she wants out, and God is never going to forgive her for all the stuff that she said and done. Then she jumped right back in. Once she figured out that her life was over, that that contract was a done deal, signed, sealed, and delivered, her soul to the devil. Once she realized that it was a wrap, she just jumped right back in with the same old filth. One video, she actually said she don't care about what people have to say about her. She's a trainer of whores. And I'm paraphrasing what she said. Of course, she said something a little bit worse. In other words, she's saying there's no shame in my game. I'm getting that money. That's why the scripture says the love of money is the root of all evil. People often misquote that and say money is the root of all evil. No, that's not the case. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. People will do anything for money, including selling of their soul. And so when I looked at this disgusting video, the half that I did see, didn't want to go any further, didn't need to. I'm pretty sure there was some things that I missed by not watching the whole thing. I just didn't feel that I needed to. I just needed to watch just enough to talk about this mess that is being put out here into the atmosphere, into the ear gates of our young people. Don't think for 1 minute that some 8, 9, 10-year-old girl haven't listened to and looked at this mess. You have mothers with their children on video dancing in the same way that these women dance, moving their bodies in the same way, and they're still wet behind the ears. The mothers barely got the umbilical cords cut, and their daughters are acting like miniature versions of these tricks in the video. But yet young people say, mind your own business. Stay out of young folks' business. Who the hell do you think you are? See, that's the problem with young people today. They are so disrespectful. And this is why parents keep on burying them. Everybody always wonder why? You know why. Nobody wants to understand why. They don't want to make the changes required. You think you can just continue to do the things that you do, live the lifestyles that you live, but all is going to be well. You might have some moments of joy and happiness, but it's short-lived. It's short-lived. It don't last. It always comes to an end. The devil always comes to collect. But again, these words will go in one ear and out the other. It's as if we're talking to brick walls, because even our young people are becoming just as stiff-necked and hard-headed as our ancestors. Our people don't desire to do right. This is why the Most High said, my people are sottish. Sottish is stupid. He said, to do that which is good, you don't know how to do that. But to do that which is evil, you know how to do that very well. And for those of you who's going to come in here and say, well, Cardi B is not black, whatever. I know what she is. Even if she's not quote unquote black, you can look at her and tell that it's in there somewhere. Megan Thee Stallion, on the other hand, she's black. And this is not a conversation about, oh, we're all mixed. We ain't talking about that mess. I'm talking about the fact that these two young women, with whatever amount of black they have in them, are a deep influence on young black girls. That's the bottom line. They are going to be destroyed by this music and the continuation of artists who put out this kind of music, and parents who refuse to be parents, too afraid to upset your children because they like the music, they like the lifestyle, so you just want to keep the peace. What the hell kind of peace are you keeping if your young people are raised up with lewd behavior, contracting and spreading disease? Oh my goodness. When I think about the rationale of some of our people, I just can't understand it. When you open up your eyes and look around, what is it looking like in the hood? How do you think any of it is going to improve if we don't do better? I know that this stuff falls on deaf ears, but I'm going to continue to speak because you reach some. I know that we won't reach all. I know that already. But if you can reach 1, 2, or a few, that's better than nothing. I wish our people would see the handwriting on the wall and understand what the heck is going on in this world and stop playing these games with their souls. Just because you choose not to believe something doesn't make it go away. The Most High is who He is. And He's going to repay every evil, wicked deed done by man and woman. Your disbelief won't stop a thing. This is why the scripture says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. This is one of those topics, you can just go on and on and on with. No need to bore your patience. The imagery in the video says it all. I can't help it sometimes, family, when I look at these things, it brings tears to my eyes because it shows me how messed up our people are. I recently did a post and I said, there's all this talk about the whores. And I said, and I've said this many times before in the past, where there's a whore, there's a whoremonger, right? But the problem is this. Women do these things because they know that there's an audience for what they do. So they want to appease, or they want to please their audience. You know who their audience is. They want to please their audience. They want to please those men who seek what they are putting out. Okay. Those of you under the sound of my voice, I know you're not listening to this mess, and I know you're not letting your daughters and your sons listen to this mess. I know you're not. But let's throw up some prayers for those who are, because even though we may not feel that we are directly affected by the things that are happening in this world, in a sense we are. And I'm referring to what our people do. Sometimes we feel like, no, that's them, that's their problem. And that is not always the case. It can easily become all of our problem, especially when these young people interact with one another and it creates a web of connecting. We need to get ourselves together. I already know some are going to perish. I already know that. But we must still cry aloud and spare not and lift up our voices like trumpets in Zion and show our people their transgressions. With that, I am out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.